Welcome in Wyoming. Coming up today, we take a look at how the government shutdown is affecting TSA workers in Wyoming and how communities are stepping in to help.
Plus, as fire danger continues to lurk around Wyoming, officials are taking heightened measures to keep the flames at bay.
And later, hear about the partnership between the University of Wyoming and Meals on Wheels to help train culinary students. All that and more. Let's go.
Wyoming News Now starts now.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Entrican.
And I'm Marissa Russ.
All right, we're going to kick things off with meteorologist Ashley Morgan, who has a look at today's weather. Ashley, how are we shaping up for today?
Well, we are off to a pretty mild and clear start across the area. We are dry, of course, but as to take a live look down Capitol Avenue, not a lot going on out there this morning. As you can see here, we are dry and calm out there, and temperatures have been quite mild, but we actually broke more record high temperatures yesterday across Wyoming, including Cheyenne, 74 degrees yesterday, breaking our old record of 71. Into Casper, we hit 77 degrees yesterday, which broke our old record of 72, as well as into Laramie into the 60s. Now, we are off to a quiet start. Plenty of clear skies, a couple of clouds north of Casper, even a few light sprinkles in towards northern Crook County. But besides that, we're looking pretty good out there. Temperatures right now, we're at 60 in Cheyenne, near 70 in Wheatland at 69 and 45 in Torrington. As we head northward, 50 in Casper, 44 in Worland and 52 in Riverton. And look at our weather headlines for today. Temperatures are expected to be warm once again, breaking record highs. A high fire danger concern, but it's looking like it's going to stay dry. But I'll have more on your full forecast in just a little bit.
Thanks, Ashley. It's been a rough 6 weeks since the federal government partially shut down, affecting federal workers across the country and here in the state. Reporter John Habershaw visited the airport where TSA agents have been working without pay and learned how the airport plans to lend a hand.
It's been a long 6 weeks for TSA agents here at the Casper-Natrona County International Airport, as a partial government shutdown has left them without pay during that time. However, I'm told the agents have been powering through.
We've been really fortunate that our TSA agents have been continuing to show up.
Casper Airport's Communications and Air Service Manager, Katie Reed, tells me there's been no significant call-outs or agents quitting.
They continue to show up, These folks are working without pay for the third time in a year, pretty much. And so we're so thankful for them because our staff has been so dedicated and has continued to be here.
Supply drives aren't isolated to Casper, as the airports in Cheyenne and Laramie have started one up for their TSA agents as well. Reporting in Casper because local matters, I'm John Habershaw, Wyoming News Now.
Reed explains some TSA agents have had to make tough personal financial decisions recently. Regardless, they continue to show up each and every day. But that's not the case for everyone. The Department of Homeland Security says hundreds of TSA agents have walked off the job since the start of the partial government shutdown. The department says more than 450 agents have quit. Others are calling out sick, resulting in significantly longer wait times at airports across the country. But there could be an end in sight to the impasse. Yesterday, GOP leaders said they reached a plan to fund DHS. However, they'll still need to get Senate Democrats on board. But even when funding is restored, it could still take several days for full TSA staffing levels to return. A union official said there was a lag between a deal and workers' next paychecks out of the last shutdown last year. Well, fire danger continues to threaten Wyoming. In northern Wyoming near Lovell, the Cane Fire is just over 1,900 acres with 30% containment. Additional wildland fire crews are now helping to slow its progress. Crews say the fire is showing behavior normally observed in August. In the meantime, all roads on the Yellowtail Wildlife Habitat Management Area remain closed. Albany County is now among those boosting safeguards against fire hazards. It's announced partial fire restrictions are starting today. County leaders say dry conditions and heavy fuel loads have created serious fire risks. These restrictions ban outdoor fires, fireworks, and incendiary or tracer ammunition. The restrictions apply to unincorporated parts of the county. There are some exceptions. including certain campfires and enclosed grills, as long as people follow strict safety rules. The order runs through November 1st unless county fire officials change it. Violators could face fines up to $100, jail time, and possibly have to pay for fire damage or suppression costs.
A bridge installation is being proposed over the BNSF railroad tracks in Cheyenne, and WYDOT is hosting a public meeting to discuss the details. The public meeting will be tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. at Laramie County Community College in the Clay Pathfinder building. The meeting will present the project's scope and schedule and gives the public the chance to talk with staff involved with the project.
Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon's senior policy advisor is announcing his intention to run for Wyoming Superintendent of Public Instruction. Tuesday's announcement from Chad Auer came via social media post, claiming more than 2 decades of experience in the classroom, school administration, and high-level state leadership. Auer has served previously as deputy superintendent at the Wyoming Department of Education. Auer plans to prioritize funding for school resource officers, mental health support, and school infrastructure.
Aquatic invasive species inspections have resumed for the 2026 boating season in Wyoming.
In this week's Game and Fish report, Ray Hagman passes along a few of the reminders watercraft users need to know.
Aquatic invasive species inspections for watercraft have begun for the 2026 boating season at aquatic invasive species check stations across Wyoming. These mandatory stations help ensure watercraft are not bringing invasive species of mussels into the state's waterways. Any out-of-state boater, as well as Wyoming residents who have taken their watercraft outside
visit, and also to be patient when you see an out-of-state license plate. Reporting from Cheyenne, because local matters, I'm McKeely Bonner, Wyoming News Now.
Visit Cheyenne typically runs ads in cities like Denver, Salt Lake City, and Fort Worth, but they wanted to take a different approach and put money into ads here at home. Well, Congresswoman Hagman is putting her support behind Governor hopeful Megan Degenfelder. Yesterday, Hagman announcing she's endorsing Wyoming's current superintendent of public instruction for the role. She joins President Donald Trump among those backing Degenfelder to be Wyoming's next governor. And we now have meteorologist Ashley Morgan joining us for a look at our forecast. Ashley, how are things looking out there today in Cheyenne?
Well, we're going to start with some sunshine today in Cheyenne, but there's a possibility we'll see those clouds rolling in. Also the possibility we could see a shower or two. High of 62 degrees with those east-northeast winds expected. An hourly forecast, we'll see some sun to start before the clouds roll in. Again, there is a possibility.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another day of the Big Three with me, Maddie E. Let's jump right in. Number 1, is 2026 primed for a landmark year at the movie theater box office? After a booming debut for sci-fi adaptation Project Hail Mary this past weekend, year-to-date domestic grosses sit at $1.6 billion. That's up 21% from the same time in 2025. Theaters have been buoyed by hits like Scream 7 and the animated film Hoppers, an increasingly uncommon hit for Pixar. And movie ticket sales aren't expected to slow down. According to reporting from Deadline, a box office forecast shows 2026 is expected to earn $35 billion worldwide. That would make it the biggest box office year of the decade. But that still leaves it well below pre-pandemic numbers, which were easily clearing $40 billion. But who knows? 2026 has a bevy of big movies on its slate. Among them are the long-awaited The Devil Wears Prada sequel, a Toy Story sequel, a Dune sequel, an Avengers sequel, a Hunger Games prequel, a Star Wars spin-off, and movies from directing legends Christopher Nolan and Steven Spielberg, which are non-sequels, but still very exciting. I'm beginning to realize making original movies is a lot like lowering prices. Nobody has any ideas on how to do it. Number 2, Tuesday, NASA outlined a plan to build a permanent base on the moon. The agency says the goal is to strengthen U.S. leadership in space by establishing a sustained human presence. The plan includes more frequent missions, initially targeting landings every 6 months. It'll roll out in phases, starting with robotic missions, then building infrastructure, and later enabling long-term stays on the moon. The first crewed moon missions since the 1970s are set to begin next year. I'm forgetting the name of the NASA guy whose idea this was. I think it was Bailey or George or something like that. But I do remember there was reporting on rumors that he wasn't doing it to, quote, increase leadership in space, but rather to impress a girl. I guess her name was Mary Hatch. Number 3, three cities are getting an underground tunnel from Elon Musk's The Boring Company. Baltimore, Dallas, and New Orleans beat nearly 500 other hopeful cities in the Tunnel Vision Challenge competition. As winners, they'll each get a 1-mile tunnel fully funded by the company. The Boring Company digs underground tunnels to try to alleviate surface traffic. Right now, the only one in operation is in Las Vegas. It's 2 miles long and uses Teslas with human drivers to get people around. But the city recently approved 68 more miles with 104 stations. The Boring Company is currently working on a 12-mile long tunnel loop under Nashville. Wow, what a clever yet simple solution for solving traffic congestion. If you think about it, digging has really done so much for us. Energy companies dig for oil, tech companies dig for lithium and cobalt, and women who don't want to work a day in their life dig for gold. That's going to do it for today's Big 3. Don't go anywhere. Final forecast is next.
Good morning. A little cool out here to start our morning, but a nice start, of course, and a little better than it was yesterday as we had more cloud cover. But we are going to see some breezy conditions today, but some sunshine in Cheyenne, high of 76. A little warmer for your Wednesday, sunshine 82, but a high fire danger potential is in store. Cooler air arrives for the end of the week with temperatures finalizing off by Friday of only 47 degrees, but we are going to see a bit more cloud cover. Casper, breezy with some sunshine and clouds, high of 76 today. A little warmer for your Wednesday, 83 with gusty winds. Then we cool down back to the 50s to close out the week, maybe around 60 as well, with a bit more cloud cover. In Scottsbluff, we'll see some sun and clouds today. High of 81 degrees, much warmer for your Wednesday, 90 degrees with sunshine before we drop into the mid-50s for your Thursday with sunshine. And with that, let's send it back over to Matt and Marissa.
Thanks, Ashley. A meteor rocked parts of Texas over the weekend, and one homeowner has a good reason to say it was a little too close for comfort. Patrick Cornell has that story, and take a look at this.
As folks near Houston, Texas saw, and these dogs felt, a meteor disintegrate overhead, one woman believes she had a much closer encounter with the outer space object.
So I come on over here and look. There's a hole in the ceiling, a big dent in the floor.
Sherry James says a fragment of the rock smashed through her home on Saturday.
I said, I don't know what this is, but I said, this might be a meteor.
James had the fire department come take a look.
So they came and took pictures of it, and then they left.
In a post, NASA confirmed a 1-ton meteor caused the atmospheric agitation, releasing the energy equivalent of 26 tons of TNT into the sky, noting local reports of fragments hitting a house and showing a map where pieces of the meteor may have possibly crashed down, a sight and sound experienced by many across the region.
And that sounded just like a huge sound of thunder. It kind of shook.
According to KTRK, James is going to contact NASA to try and confirm the authenticity of the cosmic crashdown and get her roof repaired.
It's exciting, but it's scary at the same time, but just to actually have a meteor.
While we're on surprising finds, researchers recently uncovered quite a few new creatures lurking in Cambodia. A nearly 2-year survey of limestone caves uncovered this turquoise pit viper, a flying snake, yes, flying snake, and newly discovered species of geckos, microsnails, and millipedes. Conservation charity Fauna and Flora oversaw the effort to track down and document all these newly discovered animals. They say they've only scratched the surface in their journey to find more critters and help protect the area. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Coming up on the back nine today, as concern over snowpack rises, we speak with a water expert to break down the situation. Hear why there's both good and bad news.
Plus, as the partial government shutdown continues and TSA workers go without pay, Wyoming airports are asking the community for help.
Meanwhile, a popular skate park in Casper is being demolished and many locals are not happy. Stay with us.